Ladies and gentlemen, this is not my proudest moment. For about 1 hour and 20 minutes, I have been building this workbench on the other side of where this stuff I'm sorting out. I just got so tired of working like this. When I knew eventually I was going to build the bench, I said, I'm just going to build the bench. So in about 1 hour and a half, I put these stanchions on top of some 6x6s that was once the bench in my bedroom over my bed that held my computer before I built my computer room. And this morning, I painted these walls with thorough seal. I painted below the outside water line, the ground line, with thorough seal, and on the top I'm going to paint with regular paint mixed in with acrylic 60. This is not the best bench I ever built, and on top of here goes 3/4 inch plywood, which is over here. It's behind my toolboxes, which eventually I'm going to put on the bench like tomorrow night. And the grinder and my vise, my pipe vise, and this drill press are all going to go on this bench. Once I put the plywood on, I will decide where the accessories go. I made it up high off the floor so it will accommodate the vacuum cleaner and any other high object that will or might go underneath there. If you were working on a lawnmower, you could fit it right underneath this one section right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish putting 1 or 2 planks on there, and then I'm going to prepare for the plywood. And then I'm going to get this grinder. First I have it to paint, of course, but I can cut the plywood and then paint the plywood after it's cut, so all the edges are sealed. So I'm going to put this down over here like this, and I'm going to put something on top of my Zolar craft box from the 1980s. Zolar has not been around a very long time. That's a man I used to meet in my dreams. And right now, I'm going to work like that. I don't know what you're going to be able to see, but I can tell you that it's going to be what it's going to be. I think you will be able to see this very nice, like that. I have a few planks put on here. I need my pencil, which I keep stashed over here, and my square. Make this like that. I'm going to give it an eyeball, make sure it's straight down the length, the front edge of the boards. Like I said, this is not my most sacred bench. Could tell you I've built better benches, but this is a bench that will probably not get used very much at all. If it will get used, my brother will have this bench shitted up in no time. I could leave this bench without so much as a nut or screw, not even a 1/4 inch washer on this bench. In 3 weeks, we'll not be able to see the fucking plywood. I swear to God, if there was such a thing. My brother will shit this place up in a matter of hours. He will come downstairs, he goes like this. He has something in his hand that it goes right there where the vise is, right where this vice grip is. This is where this rule goes, right where the vise is. He has it in his hand, he looks around, he goes like that, he walks away and stays there until he needs it, and then he has to look for it. I swear to God. I'm not making that up. Anyway, that's what he does. That's what he always did, and probably that's what he's going to continue to do. He does not put anything back at all, ever. Under any circumstances, nothing ever goes back where it belongs, ever. And then he does not, I kind of tell you, he has 15 or 20 of the same tool, sometimes more. Now that the hurricane, he threw a lot of stuff out. But maybe he has 15 pairs of vice grips the same size, because he cannot find them. Because he puts them down like this. He just goes like that. He doesn't even look. And then he throws shit on top of it, on top of that. And then that's the end of that. Then we're never going to see those vice grips again. Puts a towel on top of that. Next year he puts the container for the empty shrimp box on top of there. The paper box with the seaweed in it, and then on top of that, it throws another bag, and then he puts a garbage, and then he not gonna ever see anything that it does. You're never gonna see this bench again. I'm not kidding you. When I walk out of this door, you'll never see the bench again. Never. The bench will be as if it never existed. It will be a clusterfuck of one thing on top of another thing, on top of another thing. We'll never see the bench again. Never, ever. Put a screw here. I got to eyeball this down there. Okay. It worked out pretty good that time. I got lucky. I got lucky. On top of being fat, I just had 2 glasses of water. Now I'm bloated. The screws come right through the top of the wood, but that's okay. And the reason that's okay is because when my brother comes, he's going to snap off the screws. And then we'll put the plywood on there. Line everything up properly. should talk about Fukushima, baby. And nobody's talking about Fukushima. That big storm that went into the Philippines, I bet you they was aiming that at Fukushima. I bet. There's people saying that storm was man-made, and it probably was. And I bet you the destination of that storm was Fukushima. And I couldn't tell you why. In America, in the Philippines, they call it Yolanda. But in America, they called it Haiyan. Now, if you take the letter H from the first word high, and if you take the word high and make it hello, and you take the first 4 letters of the word hello, you have the word hell. And if you take the second word of Haiyan, it's an N. And you take the first letter of N, and it's alpha. So you have hell alpha or hell 1. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm telling you, I believe that that storm was destined for Japan, and you cannot make me believe anything else. That's right. So now this bench, she has a little bit of a whip in it. Right in the center, I could have put one piece of a cedar underneath in the center. But I couldn't do that right now. I don't know why it has that whip in there. I know why. One of the boards is whipped so much that the stanchion cocked. So it should have straightened out on its own when the weight goes on the back over there with the toolbox. I'm not going to put, I could have put those wedges in there anytime later on. So now we're going to put one more piece of the 2x4 in here, because this is the dead end of the bench. Does not have to be strong, does not have to be solid, does not have to be anything. This has to be plywood. So I'll grab a nice piece of 2x4 right over here. I grab a piece of 2x6 right over here. I have nothing but a beautiful lumber here. I'm looking for a piece of junk. Don't have it. I'm a-coming. I have to find a nice piece of wood. It's all nice, this wood. This wood is like $1.60 a foot. This is long leaf yellow pine, #1 dense select, no knots. This is about as good as a piece of pressure treated lumber you could buy in the world. Right here. #1 dense select, no knots, 0.60 treatment, copper chloride and arsenic. CCA. This wood is from the 1980s. I brought it to Florida in a truck, and I just brought it back from Florida in another truck. I brought a whole truckload of it to build some decks in Florida. And I built most of my decks, and then I took some of them apart that were temporary. And this is what I'm using now to build this workbench. about 5 minutes, my brother should be coming home. He said he wanted to help me in the basement do some sorting. He kind of helped me with this bench. If he likes, maybe he will not even like the bench. I do not know. It's very difficult to tell with that man. One day he's one person, and the next day he's another person altogether. One day he wants something, and the next day he will not like it and just rip it out. And he's not very consistent. I couldn't tell you that. I will pay the price for breathing in this dust. In about 2 or 3 weeks, my whole scalp will break out with scabs. But I can't do anything about that because I can't have a fan down here because I got all kinds of furniture. Plus it's 35 degrees outside, so I can't open the door and blow the stuff out. I can't have the vacuum running because that makes dust in the whole basement, the whole house. I will be paying the price in about 3 weeks. No doubt about that. Sad to say. I'm using some old galvanized washers that I had painted yellow, that I was building an aluminum shed in the back of my house with, which I did build, but these were the extra ones. I used them so the aluminum wouldn't blow off in the hurricane, these big washers. Worked very good too. Never blew off even one piece. Now, what we have to do, I'm going to spray a little bit of water on this dust and get it up off the floor where I can. I don't have to kick it around for the rest of my life. I'm done with the deck boards for the bench. because the deck boards, you don't have to have a board every, tight to each other. Does not matter. Okay. Thought I saw him walking. Cannot see through that glass block. Guess I did. Maybe okay. Now he has to do some cutting. Okay, now what we need to do is I need to go outside and look for something. Holy shit, it's 30 degrees out there. The water in one of my buckets is freezing. I hate the winter. Alright, sprinkle a little water on that sawdust. Maybe it will stay down and not go into my lungs so badly. That wasn't so bad. I can smell it, which means there's dust in the air. But when you sprinkle a little bit of water, just a light spray on top of sawdust, sawdust is an excellent suppressor of dust. When it's damp, not wet, just a little damp, suppresses the dust very nicely. My nice metal dust pan right here. Now I have to prepare the plywood out of there. Put the first sheet of plywood down, right? Have to get the ruler. The ruler. And there's the ruler. So let's see where 16 feet goes. 14. Okay, goes off the end by a foot, which is very good. Okay. good. One more thing. Well, that's tomorrow. One more thing. We gotta put, no, we don't have to put anything on the bottom. We're not gonna make a bottom bench anymore. Which means I brought enough wood from Florida to make 6 of these. Oh boy. You could use it upstairs. Okay. Alright, the next step is to break all these screws off, which Tommy can do. Then, one more thing that needs to be done is to get that area over there well, we don't really need these screws up on the deck anymore. Put that there. We don't need this out in the middle of the room right there. Put that there. We don't need these nails. And put the nails over here. Like that. Okay, this. We don't really need this. Okay, what we need to do is get that piece of plywood that's behind the cameras over there and there. Okay. So that means that a lot of things. It means a lot of work. Okay, it means that this metal cage that's eventually going to go on top of the bench has to get moved. Okay, that's gone out of the way. That means that this pair of gloves, box of gloves, can go in this area here. Okay, that's what that means. Then, if he doesn't come home soon, I'll start mixing paint. But in the meantime, I can move the vise move the vise over this way. I can move the drill press. No, I really need to move that. Okay. Now. Oh boy. Oh boy, I put the shovels right in the way yesterday. I put a couple of things in the way. Can't bring them out through the back. That's impossible. So, we'll move everything over here out of the way. Okay, that's one big thing. Oh, they moved pretty easy. That's another big thing. Okay, that's another big thing. Snow shovel out of here. Okay, snow shovel's not in the way anymore. And now we'll move the paint and supplies, because the paint and stuff is gonna get used. And we're gonna need the square. And we're gonna need the ruler. We need the pencil that fell on the floor. We don't need this clamp anymore. We don't need this block of wood here. I'm going to put it in with the block of wood, blocks of wood. And we don't need this, the ice over here, or the tools over there. And we don't need this rug over here. Nor do we need this piece of small plywood over here, which is in the way. So, now, if it looks like it can come out of there, it looks like it can come out of there because it probably can. Gotta get my bicycle out of here. Okay. Bicycle's halfway out of there. That's enough. Got a sweatshirt over here. That will never fit me again, which is really nothing more than a nice heavy-duty nailing pad at this point. And I have an extension cord over here on the end of the plywood. It doesn't belong there, but that's my brother Tommy. He just took this extension cord and just put it on the end of the plywood without thinking about, we have a box over there with extension cords. We have a box over there with extension cords. We have extension cords hanging in the back on a hook, but he chose to put this orange extension cord on the back of the plywood because that was where his hand was when he had finished rolling up the extension cord. He just put it on it. Now you know he rolled it up because it's not even. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now I'm going to put it over here because we're probably going to use it over there. Unbelievable. There's no rhyme or reason. Wherever he's standing, doesn't matter. If he's standing here, boom, it goes down. If he's standing here, boom, it goes down. If he's standing, he doesn't even look where he's putting it. He just goes like that. Doesn't even look. He doesn't even look. And when you ask him where it is, he'll just say it's in the basement. But will it be in the basement? Well, there's a possibility that it's in the basement. Doesn't mean it is in the basement, though. It just means that's where he said it was. Where else could it be? It could be in the trunk of his car. Could be in the garage. Could be laying down in the backyard. Could be under a plastic bag on the side of the house that he was putting garbage out with and just dropped whatever was in his hand to put the garbage out. It could be that you're never going to find it again, ever, until you take the house apart. Could be a lot of things, but it doesn't mean it is where he said it's going to be. One thing for sure, wherever he says it is, the probability is high it's not there. And when I say high, I'm talking about in the 99.7% high.